It is great that all of you are joining today. My name is Jeffrey Olmstead, and I'm in charge of marketing at Vertical. And this is the third in our webinar series that's going to take us through the end of the year. Each month, we're bringing in experts and guests from the industry to share insight into how a cloud migration can accelerate your digital transformation and take your customer experience to another level. So whether you're on the cusp of taking your CX to the cloud or you just want to explore more, you're in the right place. This is the upcoming webinar series. We're going through the end of the year, and you can kind of see the topics that we have. I'm really excited about what we have lined up. So you're going to want to make sure you're joining us for each of the sessions. So 5.9 is going to be sharing with us today. 5.9 is the leader in AI and empowering agents to engage with customers in their channel of choice and drive CX success. They have conversation AI-enabled solutions that save time and money and also improve productivity. So they are the experts in the space, and I'm really excited to have them joining us today. So I'm going to hand it over to John Debaka and let him introduce himself and get started with the presentation.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here with you today. We see the relationship with Vertical Communications as key to our mutual success. My name is John Debaka. I represent the AI strategy part of the Early Partner Engagement Program. I traditionally come from a sales background, and so I'm here to talk about how you can use AI with your customers and with your partners to better understand and supercharge that relationship and CX. With me is Danielle O'Keefe. Danielle is representing our SC side. That's the technical people. So we want to make sure that we got you covered for both technical and sales. And then also on the call with us today is Brandon Rich. Brandon is part of our channel program, and he manages a relationship with 5.9 and Vertical to make sure that Vertical is always on the edge and knowing and gets visibility to what we're doing with AI. So with that, let's go to the next slide. Let's jump right in. All right, here's the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about our philosophy, just so you know where we're coming from and what you can expect from us. Daniel and I are going to speak through the IVAs, which think about it as a digital worker. If you've got Siri or you've used Alexa, you've been using a virtual agent. We're going to talk a little bit as well about Agent Assist. We've got a portfolio of 8 different AI products. We're only going to talk about 2 of them today in the interest of time, but we think they're the most relevant to you. Then we'll go some use cases, because that really drives it home to be able to understand how other customers are using this within their business to actually help improve their experience, not only for the employees, but their customers as well. And then at the end, we're going to close out with something really special, and that is a demo that Danielle will do. So next slide. And then you can go to the next one as well. So real quickly, AI is in the news. You heard about ChatGPT. For those of you who are not aware, Wall Street is in love with artificial intelligence. There's over 2,000 companies now that are driving AI. 5.9 has been an early leader. We started back in 2000 in 2019 with the acquisition of Windu and with Inference. If you think about AI, in particular how it works with the customer experience, it's about driving a experience similar to what you're getting with Alexa or with Siri, right? You ask it a question in language of your choice, and it comes back with an answer, and it does stuff for you, right? And it should be seamless, and most people, especially depending on your age, almost use it every day. Underneath the covers, however, it leverages something called a large language model. And the large language model allows it to understand when you're asking that question, how do I interpret that into something that I can act upon, right? My digital worker, this IVA, and it does that. So large language models is what's underneath our solution as well. It manifests itself in AI and automation. Self-serve is really becoming the norm. A lot of companies had a challenge finding people to, cover customer support as well as just, sell hamburgers at McDonald's. I mean, it was a challenge across the board. So we're using the IVA to actually help our customers be more efficient, as well as deliver the kind of service that our customers need and want. And we used it with large language models, as well as some packaging around IVAs, Agent Assist, and 6 other products that we can cover in a later webinar. Next slide. So at a very high level, right, this is a real takeaway, right? If you're doing self-service, right, you're going to want to use an intelligent virtual agent, right? Think Siri, think Alexa, right? If you're doing live interaction, we want to supercharge that your employee or that agent's time and energy, get them up to speed faster, and that's where we use Agent Assist. These are the 2 topics that we're going to cover today. At the end of the day, what we're really looking to do is to help you and your customers improve their customer experience, lower that overall customer service cost, retain staff, and generally make sure that all of your customers and their customers have a delightful customer experience, and AI is now integrated into that for almost any company out there. It's on their radar. So we want to make sure that you're aware of what we bring the offer with Vertical. Next solution. So we're going to talk a little bit about IVA. What is an IVA and how does it work? How do you apply it, especially with this install base, and understanding what Vertical wants to do and how we go to market together. And we're good. This is a build out slide, so I'm just going to ask you, Jeffrey, to double click on this, and we'll build it out for everyone. So right now, if you think about intelligent virtual agent and think about that experience that you may have with Siri or Alexa, you want to drive a solution that you're in control of. You're in the driver's seat, so it's self-driven. You want to be conversational, right? You don't want to have to go through a lot of menu options like we've done in the past. You want to just ask it a question, and he'll go and respond. You want it personalized. You want it over time to understand who you are and what your preferences are. And you want it to be omni-channel. I think about my kids, right? My kids are in their 20s and 30s. They'll sit in the same room, 6 feet apart, and they'll go ahead and text each other, even though it's much easier in my mind to have a conversation. But what it tells me is that their preferred communication channel is digital. And we need to support that. And especially if you have customers or your customers have a demographic that's expanding, you want to go down into a younger generation, they're going to expect an omni-channel experience. If you click again here, Jeffrey, we can build this out. Right. And again, we'll just kind of completely do the build out one more time, and then stop there. So in this world, right, by self-driven, we want to be smart, right? We're going to automate those tasks. We're going to put you in the driver's seat. Conversational, right? When we say ASR, we made automatic speech recognition. We support 130 different languages. That's key, especially if you're trying to capture new customers. It improves over time. So as it's learning and interacting, it'll actually improve, and it provides feedback so that you can continuously iterate on this. This is very different than what we used to see with IVRs of the past. It's personalized in the sense that it knows who you are, right? It does it by leveraging that investment that you've made in a CRM. It uses APIs to do it, and we can actually employ biometrics, especially in the banking industry or in financial services and healthcare. Those are all top of mind. And at the end of the day, I already spoke to this, it has to be multimodal. You're not going to get my daughters, who, by the way, have all the money to interact with you unless you're communicating with them the way that they want to communicate. And that's today vis-a-vis chat and other methods beyond voice. Below, you can see a list of all the folks that we partner with. One of our underlying philosophies is not to paint our customers into a corner by just picking one engine. I mentioned earlier that there's so many thousands of different AI companies out there. We pick the market leaders, and you can plug and play these solutions across the board. So if you like Google Dialogflow, you could use that. If you want to switch to IBM Watson, you can do that, or even Amazon. The nice thing is you can even mix and match it in our environment. We really provide that level of flexibility, which provides investment protection as well as giving you access to the latest and greatest across the industry leaders. So Danielle, before I move on to ways to implement, did you have anything to add?
No, that was a great overview. It's just real exciting applying the AI into the contact center. So
And as I said, Danielle's on our technical side, so she keeps me honest because I'm a sales guy.
that's
But
right.
let's talk a little bit about what it means to you, right? Because our philosophy is we don't want to force our customers into a rip and replace environment. You have great solutions provided by Vertical Communications, especially for those of you who are like on Mitel platforms or some other platforms. We want to respect that. So what we've done with our platform approach is to give you different ways to gain the benefit of artificial intelligence, especially intelligent virtual agents, by able to plug them in different methods that really benefit you and makes it an evolutionary, not revolutionary approach. So we're going to talk about these in just a second, right? But option one, integrate it into your on-premise UC platform. Option two, put it connect it with a contact center if you've got one today to add some specific capabilities. And option three, if you're ready to move to the cloud and you want the what I call the full boat, we can do that as well. So let's go to the next slide and I'll describe exactly what we mean by these different options. So in this here, right, what I want to draw your attention to is those use cases. We saw this especially during COVID, right? A university in particular, they had so many different auto attendants and they were forced to very quickly change their operations that it was hard for them to tell the right story because they were no longer having classroom. So, they wanted people off campus. They really needed to change the way they did business. And they really didn't have the ability to go to dozens and dozens of different auto attendants to fix it. With our solution, we became the new front door, right? And we were able to make that change across the board very quickly. We added intelligent call steering, right? All of us have customers that do more business with us, so we want to give them more of a white glove approach. We can add that intelligence in there on the front end. We already talked a little bit about adding that digital customer experience, adding multiple languages because that's becoming a requirement now. If I want to get a market share with another language like Spanish speakers or Chinese or Vietnamese, and by the way, in Texas, that's where I'm from, the third language that we get asked for the most is Vietnamese. But the takeaway here, and you can sight read these use cases, is that we want to change the curb appeal, right? Think about this here, right? You've got a platform like your Mitel, it's working well, but you want to just change the curb appeal, right? And you can use an IVA in front of it to make it easier for you to operate, more business agility, and to amp up and supercharge that customer experience without having to get rid of that PBX that out there that you have with Mitel. So that's a good takeaway. It's evolutionary, not revolutionary. The next scenario with option two is to add capabilities. Next slide, please. Is to add capabilities to your existing contact center. So your contact center may be working fine today, but it's either too old or too expensive to add another language, right? It may be too, you might want to add a payment system like PCI compliant credit card payments, or to add some self-service options like an integration to a CRM. We had a customer that was working with Nuance. It was going to cost them over $100,000, and it was going to take them 12 months. In reality, it's probably closer to 18 months to actually implement multilingual as well as a payment card system and some self-service, whereas integrating into their itinerary system. This was a travel company. We were able to actually scope it out and get it done for less than half the price and a third of the time. So we can supercharge your contact center or CCaaS environment. And again, not asking you to replace it. You're just using, in this scenario, the IVA to be able to add capabilities to the platform that you already have in place. Next slide. So this is kind of a wrap-up slide here in option three. For those of you who are ready to make that move, right, working with Vertical to understand kind of where your business needs are, your PBX platform is aging out, or the contact center is just not cutting it anymore. If you look there, starting left to right, there's all of these different channels that you need to support these days: voice, email, chat, social media, video, SMS. This is how our customers want to talk to us. So we need to be able to support it. We have a platform that does that. And for those transactions that are, again, that curb appeal, right, front door, it's the intelligent virtual agent, right? It supports a lot of different modalities. It understands what the customer is asking for. That's what we mean by identify intent It does some things like, I want to check my account balance. I want to make a transaction, a payment, something like that. And at the end of the day, it completes it, and I can do that transaction 24 hours a day, 7 days a week across 130 different languages, and I'm not dependent upon normal business hours. If you click on this, we can see what happens now, because this is the total solution, right? There's a lot of transactions, especially those that are high value transactions, that you want to sit with a live agent, right? That person's been trained. It's your greatest asset for many companies. And they want to be able to leverage tools like Agent Assist, which we'll talk about in just a minute, to actually improve that customer experience. So in the 5.9 vertical world, you get the best of both, right? You get that artificial intelligence driven AI self-service model that is multilingual, multimodal, and is available 24/7, 365. At the same time, you get a world-class agent experience as well. And we're doing more and more every day to improve that agent experience. For most contact centers, the greatest expense is trying to find, train, and keep human agents. We can actually help that and reduce turnover by giving them the tools that make them feel like they're working on important tasks. Let the IVA do the mundane task. Let's make their lives more meaningful, better quality of life, better customer experience, better agent experience. It's just a win-win across the board. And again, just to kind of sum up here before I hand off to Danielle, is that the takeaway working with 5.9 and vertical is that you've got options. We can use it on the front end to improve that curb appeal for your business and your customer's business. We can add capabilities to a platform that's there, and both of those are a no rip and replace, what I call evolutionary, not revolutionary. But if you're ready, we have a solution as well, and all of this is available through vertical communications. Next slide. So let me hand this over to Danielle. I think you're now hot mic, so over to you.
Fantastic. So that was a great overview of our IVA and the ability to provide that self-service and leverage the AI capability, the natural language processing into that self-service environment. But we want to take the AI applications and move that to the live interaction too. So let's talk about Agent Assist. So if you wouldn't mind moving the slide, please. All right, so what are some of the benefits of applying AI in a live interaction to the agent? So with Agent Assist, we want to accomplish a couple of different tasks. We want to provide instant training. So as the agent is speaking to the customer, the voice conversation is being split off to Google. It's understanding the intents at the same time as the agent. And because we have two thinkers now happening at the same time, we can bubble up guidance cards to the agent based on real-time phrases being spoken, real-time information being exchanged between the agent and the caller. So instant training can happen. Customers can get their agents out into the field a lot sooner with a lot less training because of these tools that are now available in that live interaction. And also it's important we have listed here like compliance reasons. Certainly this is great for compliance, reminding the agents through those guidance cards to make sure that they verify who it is on the call, that they ask if they can record the call, for instance. So making sure that all of that gets checked off. Now, additionally, we're looking at cost savings. So one of the things that we look at in terms of cost savings is we want to reduce the average handle time of the call. It's just a key metric to be able to do that, to get more interactions through the contact center. But we want to retain and improve the customer experience for sure. So we can do that by leveraging these AI tools. We can reduce the handle time by not only providing those guidance cards, but perhaps even taking an action. If the caller were to ask for an order, for instance, perhaps a function in the background goes on to create that order within a CRM, for instance. So we can affect the actions and automate that for the agents. we're also going to reduce the after call work significantly. So that, of course, extends that time on the call, and we want to reduce that. And how we do that is through a couple of different ways. We have task lists that automatically check off what the agent has done, so the agent doesn't have to go back and report that information. And with our summaries, we're automating those summaries, and we can use either the customer can define how the summary should look, so that based on what the agent said to the caller and what the caller said to the agent, summarize that information through predefined responses in the summary, or we can use GPT-3 to summarize that information. So really just something you can toggle on and be able to use that in those live call interactions. So cost savings there, definitely. And then increased upsell. So through those guidance cards that we're providing, we can make sure that if the organization has certain things that they want the caller to upsell or to discuss, then we can pop that up through the guidance card. And then improved customer satisfaction. Along with the cost savings, along with agent satisfaction, with having these tools at their fingertips, we get customer satisfaction also, because we can transfer information from a self-service application into that live interaction, so the agent's aware of everything that the caller went through in the IVA, for instance, and then we can, because they're resolving the interactions more quickly, of course, and more efficiently, we get that customer satisfaction. So those are the objectives of Agent Assist, and it's really exciting to see everything pulled in this way in both the self-service and the live interaction. So if you'll move to the next slide. So in here, you could see a diagram of how that live conversation is between the agent and the caller. And then we have AI listening in, surfacing those coaching cards, guidance cards, and then summarizing the interaction, and then putting that automatically into a CRM, which is a very likely place for customers to want us to append that. So exciting. Empowering the agents, they're handling, with the IVA, we're able to take off the workload from the agents on those rote tasks, those easy kind of responses, and we can reserve the agents for what they're good at, which is their human value, their ability to apply that to the conversations, and reserve them for those more sophisticated interactions. So that empowers the agents. It also providing the tools that are available through Agent Assist is helpful to the agents. There are some studies that say about 80% of agents don't think they have the tools to be able to complete their job. So, and then we're automating those repetitive tasks, checking off the task list, moving that summary over, and then also the superior customer service. So all told together with the IVA, with Agent Assist, we're addressing both the self-service and escalation to that live agent, and then, of course, importantly, the analytics that come along with that, so that we can continue to train and improve those AI models, whether it's in the IVA or it's in Agent Assist. And if you can move the slide from there. So to summarize it up, we want to make sure that that organizations know that they can deflect those transactional interactions to voice bots or chat bots through to that intelligent virtual agent, and then also reserve the agent for those relational sophisticated discussions, thereby escalating that voice call to a more important call. Customers will go to agents when they have something they really need to resolve, and they're going to use self-service to resolve issues that they think they can resolve themselves. So really, voice is becoming more important, and applying these tools like Agent Assist to those live interactions is just really helpful at this moment in time. And with that, if you can move to the next slide. All right. So
thank you, Danielle.
Sure.
So what I'd like to do now, and this is what it's all about, and that is how do our customers use this technology? All right, this is my favorite part of any presentation because we really bring it home and we make it real. Next slide, please. So we've got two use cases we want to share with you, and then we're going to close out with the demo from Danielle before handing it back to Jeffrey and team. But what we want to talk a little bit about is a public sector use case that I'm very proud of. This is one that I sold to the County of St. Louis. And for those of you who are not aware, our city and county governments have been challenged since COVID trying to find talented resources to man those 911 calls. And it's been a challenge for them. I don't know if you're aware, but about half of the calls that they get are really not emergency calls. They're people calling in to find out how to get their car that got towed, or maybe filing a police report that something happened yesterday, or just find out how to pay a ticket or get their Uncle Bob out of jail. Those are not 911 calls, but they're being managed in many cases by 911 operators. So we were asked by several different municipalities and counties to see if we could solve this using artificial intelligence in our IVAs. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we actually did for the County of St. Louis. Next slide. So Brian Battles, who is our champion at the County of St. Louis, you can see a little quote there from him off to the right. But what they were doing, looking at, was a hold time exceeding 10 minutes in many cases. We had some examples, and this luckily did not happen at the county, but in other cities like in Toronto and the city of St. Louis and some others that we've looked at, there were people that were on hold for 20 minutes having a heart attack. In Toronto, there's an article that I shared with Craig about how a child was choking for almost 10 minutes on a bit of cereal. And that's where you want your 911 operators to be focused. You don't want them working on, how to file a police report or get your Uncle Bob out of jail. You want them saving lives. And so we implemented a IVA solution using natural language that redirected all of those calls that are best handled by the Justice Center or by police records or somebody at a local precinct office to file a police report, and not by a 911 operator. And so what we did was we implemented this earlier this year, and the county just loves it. They're able to actually come in and now get their 911 operators focused. If you think about their experience, they want to be doing this kind of work. This is what they signed up for when they became 911 operators. It's better for the city, the county, the residents of the county. It's better for the 911 operators, and the public just feels better knowing that they can, when they call 911, they can get somebody there to help them, and they're not waiting on hold for 10 minutes or more. Next slide. They were so happy with us that they issued a press release unsolicited, and they're using artificial intelligence to reduce those wait times. When we first rolled this out, they were looking at 30% containment, which meant that, remember, 50% of the calls that they were receiving were non-emergency calls. We're now redirecting, on some days are better than others, but about 30%, and we're using natural language and our artificial intelligence solution from 5.9 to continuously improve that experience. And this, again, I'm very proud of this one. It's one that I sold, and we're seeing other municipalities. And for those of you who are in this sector or have customers in the public sector space, definitely pay attention, because not only is it a great way to use artificial intelligence, but it makes a difference to people's lives. With that, let me go ahead and hand off to another use case. This is the banking industry, and Danielle, take it away.
Yeah. Sure thing. So by now, I think everyone realizes that the IVA can be implemented into just about any vertical, whether we are doing prescription refills in the healthcare industry, if we're doing something within universities, with the state and local government for sure, and then of course banking. And we're looking forward to hearing the applications that you have for your particular businesses. Ocean First Bank was receiving 40,000 calls a month, and they were having issues in getting their agents out into the field fast enough. So that was one of their key drivers for implementing Agent Assist. So whereas John has talked about the IVA application, I'm going to focus a little bit on the Agent Assist application here. So this bank in particular has a lot of online and mobile applications, and they wanted to train their customers to start using those applications. So they use Agent Assist for guidance cards to not only provide the agents with the answers to the types of questions they were getting, but also to inform the agents to guide the callers into using those mobile apps and reminding them of the self-service applications there. So you can see how applications can help each other through this through the deployment of the AI applications that we're covering today. So Ocean First Bank had about 60 different guidance cards that they put out there that pulled up information for the agents from knowledge bases, coached them, provided reminders, and so that they could then shorten the handle time, so they could reduce their queue of the calls coming into their contact center and reduce that after call work, again reducing that queue size and providing a better experience for the customers. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, John.
Actually, this is when you're up, Danielle. We want to end strong on a demo so you can actually hear what we mean by all of this technology and slideware that we presented. As Danielle teased this up, the takeaway here for a lot of this is we're working strongly with vertical communications. We're giving you options. We're not asking anybody to rip and replace. And our solutions make a difference, right? It's a great way to differentiate vertical solutions because you're bringing real live world solutions to your customers, helping them be more successful, and you're doing it in a way that works at their pace and at the price point that they can absorb. So with that, Danielle, let's hear a demo.
Sure. So, so what we're going to do today is we're going to make vertical communications a bank, and we're going to go through an IVA experience so that you can hear what that's like, and then we're going to escalate out of that self-service into an agent's hands so that you can take a look at the Agent Assist application in the live interaction. So with that, I'm going to share my screen here. And what we'll do is we're going to look at Michael Scott's journey. Does everyone see my screen?
We can.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to follow Michael Scott. He's our customer. He's going to go along a journey. We're going to go through the IVA. I'm going to touch on a couple of different things. Definitely you want to listen for the personalization. We're going to dip into a CRM based off of Michael's phone number and identify who he is. We're going to use natural language processing so that I can have a conversational interaction with this IVA and give that great experience. When I get to when Michael wants to pull up some personal data, we're going to use our biometric authentication there just to ensure that it's Michael before we give him that information. So we're going to ask the IVA a couple of questions, pull up some fact information, but notice that when it responds, all that's going on in the background there is data integration with different applications. So and then from there, we'll show just a little bit of multimodal communication. So of course, there can be inbound interactions to the IVA and outbound interactions from the IVA, and it may involve voice inbound, whereas we might send out an SMS or an email outbound. So you have really a wide-ranging capabilities in terms of the omni-channel capabilities. And then on the last step, the data-driven routing, we're then going to escalate out to the agent, and we're going to take information from that interaction and pass that down to the agent. So with that, I'm going to call into the IVA. I have a couple of areas where we're using just voice, DTMF, so you get to experience it all. So let's go ahead and call in.
Hi there, Michael. Thanks for calling Vertical Bank. I am your virtual assistant. How may I help you today?
I would like to know your business hours.
Our business hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. What else can I assist you with today?
I'd like to make a payment.
For security and ease of use, please say your secret phrase and press pound when finished.
My name is Michael Scott, and my voice is my secure password.
Thanks for being a loyal customer with us, Michael. I do see you have one loan with us, carrying a balance of $50,000. Please press 1 to pay your defined monthly installment. Press 2 to pay a different amount. Press 3 to make an addition. I'll draft your checking account with the amount of $300. Thank you for your time. Your checking account balance is now $2,200 and your new loan balance is $49,700. What else can I assist you with today?
Yeah, I'd like to do a password reset on my online account.
I am happy to assist you with a password reset. We are sending you an email to your email address on file as well as a text message that contains a one-time use PIN and a link to a web portal to assist you with your password reset. What else can I assist you with today?
I think that's it. At this point, I'd like to go to the agent.
Thanks, Michael. Have a great day.
All right, so at that point, we can go to the agent and get the have the agent's interaction in reference to the agent assist. So with that, I'm going to switch over to the agent. Let me go ahead and go to the agent. And we're going to look at the Agent Desktop Plus, which is the agent interface for 5.9. And then we will take a look at how the calls will be handled from there. So let's go ahead and escape out of here, and let's go to my agent here. So let me call in here.
Please hold while I agent.
All right, I'm being transferred to the agent now. All right. So a couple things I want to point out about our application here. You'll notice that my agent's logged in and ready. All that's required is a USB headset, and I'm connected. I have all my phone controls here, so I'm talking to Michael. It's identified Michael. We know who he is. We're pulling in information from a CRM, and you'll notice that in the center screen, I am showing an HTML script that we can have. So that's with our base system. But notice over to the right here, as I'm talking to Michael, the Agent Assist is helping me along. So it's providing guidance cards based on what I've spoken. So if I take a look here, for instance, I can now tell Michael about this signature MasterCard. We've recognized that he's a heavy debit card user, so it automatically popped up to me as an agent to automatically ask him if he would like to get a signature rewards card. So taking that information from the taking that information of what we know about the caller and automatically providing that to the agent is what Agent Assist does. But you'll also notice over to the right here that it's checking off items as I mention them. So if I were to ask Michael if he could allow us to record the call for compliance reasons and things like that, it could go ahead and check that off. And how it's able to perform all these functions is that we have a transcript going to the side here. So it's transcribing the conversation, splitting that information off to Google so that it can then understand what's being spoken, pop open those guidance cards, and assign that checklist. And then you'll notice that a summary will be created for the caller, for the agent also. So this summary can be informed by predefined responses. And when I end the call, it can go ahead and append that into the CRM. But keep in mind that not only can we provide these predefined summary items, we can also use GPT-3 in order to summarize that for us. So we were able to take that transcription, which we can then keep. We have the guidance cards, the automated checklists, and the summary, which cuts down on that after work time. And at the end of the call, I just set a disposition so that in the reporting, my supervisor knows that Michael, though he's a heavy debit card user, is interested in that signature rewards card. And with that, it shows how we can take the information from the IVA to the agent and perform that in the agent assist. Any questions about that? All right. Well, John, I'll hand it back to you. That was an overview of the agent assist from the IVA, and any questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Danielle. And what you've seen today, and want to thank Vertical Solutions, Craig and Kurt and Jeffrey for inviting us today. The takeaway here, again, and you've seen a flyby, right? Happy to go deeper into these solutions. The takeaway that I would ask you to walk away from for this is, number one, Five9 is committed to working with Vertical Communications, leveraging that vertical difference to really make delighted customers. We've got an investment in artificial intelligence. We're continuing to expand. You've seen 2 of the 8 products that we have in that portfolio. And again, those solutions are making a difference within our customers. I think our use cases highlighted that. And we want to give you options, right? We're not asking anybody to rip and replace. It's all about evolving and working toward what is important to your customer now and how do we add benefit immediately. So with that, let me go ahead and turn this back to you, Jeffrey. And again, hearty thanks to everyone who's participated, and really appreciate the time and the partnership.
Awesome. Thank you, John and Danielle. That was a great AI presentation and demonstration. Obviously, Five9 and Vertical have a strong strategic partnership that helps companies deliver excellent customer experiences. And that's really what kind of you got to see today. Vertical is all about great CX. That's why we choose to partner with platforms like Five9. And it's also why we deliver the vertical difference. And every installation, every customer that we interact with, it's all about the vertical difference. So what is that? That means that we're a comprehensive communications partner. So from consultation and design to support services and keeping your system at the top performing, we're your one-stop shop. We have decades of experience, which means that we understand the unique needs that each client has, and we know what works and we know what doesn't. So our solutions are not cookie cutter. We tailor everything to your specific needs, and we make sure that you have the access to the latest technology, like the AI technology that we presented today. So we make sure that it fits your organization, and we make sure that it fits your goals. The thing that our customers appreciate most about us is that we form a real partnership, and we really help you reach your desired outcomes, and we help you deliver that great customer experience. So the partnership is really the most important thing about the vertical difference, that we're your strategic partner, and that's really important to have when you're going through kind of figuring out what's right for you and where AI can fit into your solutions. So that's who Vertical is. I'm really glad that you were able to jump on the webinar today. I hope that you found it useful, and wherever you're at in your AI journey, I think there's a way to consider it for your application and figure out how it works for you. And Vertical would love to help you with that. Our next webinar is going to be August 16th. The title of our next webinar is Your CX Agents Aren't Who You Think They Are. It's going to be a really good one. I hope you can join us, and I look forward to that. Otherwise, thank you for attending, and I hope you have a really great rest of your afternoon. Thank you.